Sandy Krebs, but you can call me Chef Viva Vegana. In these videos, I'll be sharing with you how anyone can make delicious vegan food. So, let's cook. Hi, Chef Viva Vegana here. Today I want to share my recipe for roasted butternut squash, corn, and poblano filling with you. This filling is great in tamales, burritos, tacos, and it even makes a really good side dish. So, let's cook. Now that our butternut squash is washed and the oven is preheated to 425 degrees, what we're going to do is start off by just cutting off the end. Now, butternut squashes are really hard, so you'll want to get a firm grip and keep your hands well away from the sharp part of the knife. We're cutting off this end piece just to make it easier when we're splitting the butternut squash. Then you're going to put the knife, the point in about halfway, and just press all the way through till you feel the tip of the knife at the cutting board, and then just pull your knife down. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other end. Put your knife all the way till you feel it at the tip of the board, and then just pull it down. Then you're just going to pry it apart. The next thing we're going to do is scoop out the seeds. If you want to, you can save the seeds for roasting or planting. And then the last thing I'm going to do is drizzle this with just a touch of olive oil. If you're trying to eliminate oil from your diet, you can skip this step. And then just give it a little sprinkle of salt and some fresh ground black pepper. You can also eliminate the salt and pepper if you have an aversion to either. And we're going to put this on a baking dish. You don't have to oil the baking dish or pan at all because the skin won't stick to the pan. And then we're going to put this on the middle shelf of the oven at 425 degrees for about 40-45 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is get all the rest of the vegetables ready for this recipe. I'm just putting a little bit of oil on the pan so that these vegetables don't stick. And then we're just going to put all of the other veggies on this pan. They're going to cook for a total of 20 minutes, but after 10 minutes we'll take them out of the oven and turn them over so they get brown on more than one side. So this is the poblano pepper. I have just this real small red pepper that came out of my garden. 8 cloves of garlic. 2 ears of corn. And the onion, I've got a half an onion here, but I'm going to cut it into a few big pieces so that we can get some brown on more surfaces. And we're going to put these in the oven on the very bottom shelf for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna flip them over and put them in there for another 10 minutes. Okay, we've got the first 10 minutes in the oven. We're just gonna turn everything over to give it an opportunity to get more brown on the vegetables. And we're gonna put that back in the oven for another 10 minutes. This is beautiful. It's got a lot of good color on all of the veggies. And we're just gonna let that set aside and cool while the butternut squash finishes up cooking. It's got about another 20 minutes, and then we'll put it all together. Okay, that's been in the oven for 45 minutes now. You can see the fork goes in really easily, so that's nice and cooked. It's not at all al dente. It's gonna be very soft when we mix it in with the other ingredients, and that's just how we want it. So we're gonna set this aside while we prepare the rest of the vegetables and let this cool. So the rest of the veggies have been cooling for about 20 minutes while the butternut squash was finishing cooking. So we're just going to cut all of these up and mix them together. First, we're just gonna cut the corn off of the cob. Then we're going to peel the meaty part off the peppers. And leave the seeds behind. If you wanted to, you could peel the skin off of these peppers, but that would peel off a lot of that toasty, charcoaly flavor that I really enjoy in this recipe. And then we're just going to take all the rest of these veggies and chop them all up and put them in the bowl. You can see there's a couple of seeds left in there. One or two isn't gonna hurt anything, but we want to get most of them out of there. Okay, you can see we have this all really finely diced now, and we're gonna put that in the bowl with the corn. In the time that it took to chop up those vegetables, this butternut squash is cool enough to handle now. So we're just going to take a spoon and scoop the butternut squash away from the skin. You can see when I was putting it in the bowl, I kind of left the butternut squash to one side of the bowl and the rest of the veggies to the other side. It's because I want to take a fork and mash this a little bit before we mix it in with the rest of the veggies. Okay, that's plenty mashed. And the very last thing we're gonna do is add in the seasonings. I've got 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 tablespoon of vegetable bouillon powder. If you don't have vegetable bouillon powder, you could use a half a tablespoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of ground cumin, a quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and just a couple of shakes of nutmeg. And there you have it. That is so delicious. It's sweet, it's savory, it's a little bit spicy, and it's so healthy. It's so low in fat and high in fiber, and it's just a really versatile filling for tamales and burritos and tacos and as a side dish. So I hope you really enjoyed this recipe for roasted butternut squash, corn, and poblano filling. I hope you like and share the video, and I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until next time, let's cook.